Hello, 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 dear viewers. How are you feeling? I am feeling honestly a little bit gross. I haven't shaved today. I just got back from a squat session at the Y. Um, I feel a little grungy, but none of that matters. None of that matters because today, we are going back to Brittany. Now, I did an entire big old earlier video on kind of Brittany in general. I'm not going to repeat that, but the short version is there is a region in northwestern France which is culturally Celtic, and they make whiskey there. They make malt whiskey, and oh, howdy do they make malt whiskey. Uh, there's a bunch of distilleries, but the one that is kind of it's oldest as well, but also kind of most generally available is Armorik. So today, we're going to taste some Armoriks that just happen to be sitting on the and a bin shelf at a local Binny's, which on the one hand is kind of really sad, to be honest, because these whiskeys are, well, I still have to review these, right? But the stuff that Armorik puts out, Warenghem Distillery puts out, is generally very, very, very high quality, and it makes me sad that it kind of gets lost in the world of whiskey section where no one's going to check them out. I grabbed these at considerable discount, and that is your Patreon dollars at work. Incidentally, if you are not on the Patreon, please comment below and thank the Patreon supporters for bankrolling all of this. Y'all owe them. All right, let's get this started. So first off, I tried the sister cask of this a while back. This is a single cask Armorik, selected by BC Merchants. It was distilled in 2008. They do not tell you on the bottle when this is bottled, but the whiskey base page for this was created in 2018. So figure, it's 8 or 9 or 10 years old, somewhere in there. But this is cask number 8054, and it's a port cask. Port is not my favorite mode of maturation, but I like the Sauterne cask from before well enough that I really wanted to try this. And then we got a 10-year-old. This is this is the second edition they did. This is the 2019 edition. I'm very excited about this because the 15-year-old absolutely blew my mind with how good it was. And then I didn't even realize they make this. I don't know how to pronounce any of the words on it. I don't even really know what the name is. I think it's Yeun Elez, Jobic or something like that. I don't know. The Breton language is a little bit beyond me. But what matters is this is a heavily peated version of Armorik. And I'm very excited to try it. But hey, let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's start with the port cask. This was by far the cheapest thing. And my hopes are not high, but I'm really hoping this can kind of set the stage for the other two. Here we go. I mean, yeah, it's right off the bat, it's not completely my thing, but it's good. I don't hate it. It's so what am I getting? I'm getting yellow curry. Like a very leafy yellow curry. So picture like a bunch of various herby leaves in your curry. And there's like a bunch of cumin and stuff. There's a lot of fennel in here, like a lot of kind of, no, it's more fennel than licorice, but stuff in that territory. But then a lot of fruity barley notes. There's some orange blossom honey. There's some Oh, what is that? Apple cheese. Apple cheese. If you do not know what apple cheese is, go to your local Lithuanian bakery, buy some apple cheese. It's basically like boiled down, slightly sugared up, dried apple, and it's delicious. And it shows up in whiskey a lot. There's some nuttiness here. There's some walnuts, malted milk balls, some breakfast tea. It's a little bit maritime, so there's just a little hint of like briny, seawatery stuff in there for fun. I mean, again, it's not. Port maturation is not my favorite thing in the world, but this is okay. Like, it doesn't feel like they just slapped this. It says port cask. It doesn't say whether that's full maturation, secondary maturation, 1 month finish. It doesn't say anything. But so far, there's nothing like disjointed about this. It's nice. It's not really my thing. On the palate. So again, this is okay. Maybe I should pull that back a little bit. For me, this is maybe a little bit disjointed. I'm sure for people who like port cask, this would really be the thing. But what you're getting is, again, kind of yellow curry with like some walnuts. So yeah, imagine like a curry, but you're throwing walnuts and like marzipan in, and like some apple cheese goes in there, maybe a little bit of honey, like little chocolates, not like Hershey's, like good chocolates, like maybe. Not even good chocolates, like expensive chocolates, lints, those little bags with the lints in them. A little bit of aniseed mixed in. Touch of orange peel, wet leaves again. And there's a note that I very, very typically get on port cask, which is like, like the strawberry syrup you get at IHOP. There's a little bit of that going on, like strawberry pancake syrup, black pepper, overstewed tea, breakfast tea. That little bit of sea salt in there. A little bit of vanilla, but it's not. What is that? Say like basic coffee with a squirt of vanilla creamer in there. It kind of works. It's not my thing. If it's your thing, I'm very happy for you, but the different sides of this I can't totally reconcile, and yeah, it's not totally, but I'm glad I bought it, especially for the price I paid for it. And by the way, if you're in Chicago or near Chicago or traveling to Chicago and you are a port cask finish fan, this exists. Be aware. Let's move on. And we shall come back to the cask number 8054 in a moment. All right, moving on to this, which is the one I really wanted to try. Armorik 10-year-old. This is the 2019 edition, and it's limited to 2,000 bottles. This seems to be like a thing that Armorik does. Like, it's... even their official bottlings are basically like limited editions, which is kind of cool because they aren't actually like overpricing them for that. I mean, this is not... I think at full price, this is still like $60, but... given the quality I expect this to have, that isn't necessarily the worst price in the world. Unchill filtered, natural color. The port cask was marked as unchill filtered. I didn't see anything in there about color. And 46%. Oh, all of these are 46%, just so we're clear. All right, here we go. 10-year-old. I mean, it's a tricky one. I mean, this is one that there's lots of little things going on. There's different elements happening. It's not it's not a whiskey you're gonna nail down like on first nosing. So there's lots of like apple cheese and roasted nuts. Like just give them, put that on the floor, give it a splash of seawater, something like that. But there's also these floral elements. There's a little bit of rose water. I'm sorry, my computer is bugging me. Give me 1 second. Shut up. Maybe Turkish Delight. No, I'm just going to go straight rose water. Black licorice. There's like a whisper of like a little bit of like barnyardy peat, you know, like mainland Scotland peat. But it's like barnyard peat right alongside maritime elements at the same time. Golden raisins. There's a little bit of an apple tart element. White pepper. They don't tell you the cask breakdown, but I would guess, like the 15-year-old, this is also a mix of bourbon and sherry. I mean, really, it just smells like a fresher version of the 15-year-old. There's like some old twigs, pepper, white pepper. Maybe some like Nicaraguan cigars, like seedy Maduro leaf cigars. Something like cakey, like almost like a cinnamon bun. A little hint of like something medicinal in there as well, like a little bit of Ricola. I mean, basically, what you're getting with this is something like very complex, very dense. This is the kind of thing that y'all that watch other, Scotchy channels have been begging for a while, and it's on the shelf. It's just in the French section. On the palate. Fabulous. Absolutely fabulous. That was a terrible Comedy Central show that I kept trying to give Absolutely Fabulous a chance, and I could never get into it. If you're an AbFab fan and you hate me for not being one among you, post a comment down below. If there's a problem with this, it's almost like too stereotypical malt whiskey, if that makes sense. Because it's just kind of hitting all the bases. It's a little bit peaty, but not too much. It's a little bit sherried, but not too much. It's a little bit maritime, but not too much. There's a lot here. This is dang good, though. Oh, man. So on the one hand, like spice cake, cinnamon buns, roasted walnuts, apple cheese, figs, mixed dried fruit, some Turkish delight happening. But, on the other hand, intermingled with that is burned leaves. That kind of barnyardy peat thing again. Like it's peaty, but then there's like some sheep and donkeys and stuff wandering around. Seawater, Maduro leaf cigar, black pepper, licorice, but it's more like absinthe. eucalyptus, creme brulee. Not creme brulee. This is more like you're going to start making some creme brulee, but you keep the torch going until everything is just burned. So it's creme burned. Really terrific mouth presence. I mean, there's a brutality to this, but it's like it's contained, if that makes sense. It's like keeping itself. It's keeping itself within its limits. Let's put it that way. I am gonna add some water to this, and we shall move on. Oh crap! Hold on. Sorry about that. All right, back to it. All right, so we have completed glass number 2. Yeah, that. Oh, it's good. All right, moving on to the thing whose name I cannot pronounce. Yeun Elez. Jobic. Whatever. So this is basically peated Armorik, and they have, following the standard formula, they have aged it exclusively in ex-bourbon, 50 parts per million, bottled circa 2020, no age statement though, natural color, unchillfiltered. So this is kind of like Armorik's answer to Kornog, something like that. So I am, this was also sitting on the closeout shelf, and I am darn excited to try this considering how much I like Armorik, but also how much I like the Kornog. Ooh. On the nose, I mean, so yeah, it's doing everything you would expect from like, a bourbon cask peated whiskey. There's peat, there's vanilla, there's seawater, but there's also like what is that? There's something that smells like modern American gin. So not traditional London dry, not like a juniper bomb. This is more like flowers, citrus peel, little hint of pine needles in there just for fun. There's some aniseed, almost a little bit of like a caraway note. See, maybe a little bit of what is that called? Aquavit. Maybe a little bit of aquavit in there too, with your sort of modern gin. Black pepper, a certain kind of like minerality, which is more obvious than on the first two. Like just like some wet stones, wet rocks. But then yeah, nutshells, kind of a honey note again. Something appley, but it's almost like what is that called? Like apple tea, is it called? It's the like kind of healthy tea where there's like little apple bits in the bag, and I think it's called apple tea. Whatever, it's that. Something in this reminds me of actually like Chenin Blanc, which is a wine, but we're not talking like Loire Valley Chenin. Okay, maybe a little bit of Loire Valley Chenin Blanc, but I was really thinking of like, Northern California or something. Yeah, fun nose. I mean, in some ways, it's a simpler nose than the 10-year-old. It doesn't have so many different elements kind of intermingling with each other, but I mean, it doesn't, at least at this point, it doesn't feel lesser in quality. Really interesting. That kind of ginny note is really throwing me for a loop. This would be a fun one to blind friends on. Pour 'em whiskey. Oh, it's peat. I know what this is. Wait, what the heck is this? I don't know what this is at all. On the palate. Ooh, jeez. Don't know where that came from. On the palate, kind of the same set of notes as on the nose, but it's actually also more barnyardy than on the nose. So yeah, it's still like peat, vanilla, modern gin, like brine, wet rocks. But yeah, throw in your wet sheep and stinky, poopy cows in there as well. Absinthe again. Black pepper again. That kind of caraway aquavit note, that's in there. And yeah, kind of like an apple core thing. Nutshells, wildflower honey, more rocks. Really good mouth presence. I mean, these two, in terms of mouth presence, for young whiskeys, it's a lot. It's hard to do better than this. The way they deliver what they got is just terrific. Good long finish, good mouth feel. The length is very, very solid. There's a little bit of pleasant, like ashiness to this. Give this some water, and we'll come back to it. All right, coming around, we're gonna do the port cask one more time. See how this turns out with water on the nose. So I was getting that kind of like IHOP strawberry pancake syrup thing on the palate before. I wasn't really getting on the nose. Now it's there on the nose though. In general, yeah, I mean, it hasn't lost any complexity, but it just feels a little bit more sweet, a little bit more kind of desserty. Gun to my head, it's still not my thing, but it's cool. Like, this is cool. This is fine. On the palate. Yeah, so it just tastes like burned strawberries. Let me get more specific. Burned leafy strawberries with a little bit of black pepper on them. Yeah, and it's fun, and it delivers its flavor. It delivers its flavors very well. I do think it's going to be deeply outclassed by these two, but yeah, I mean, if you like this profile, if you like the profile I've been describing with this whiskey, it's super cheap right now. Go grab it. I'm going to give this 83 plus. It's still, I'm struggling to find balance, and articulate presentation here, but it's fun. I like it. And there's not a lot of port cask whiskeys that I like. Put it that way. All right, moving back to the 10-year-old. Or at least the tiny bit I have left in my glass because I was crushing it in the first round. On the nose, it is still dense. It is still complex. It hasn't really lost any of those kind of dueling elements from before. What it's gained is a little bit of like it's like almost a York peppermint patty kind of note. Yeah, something like mint chocolatey. No, it's not York. It's the, what is that other mint candy that it's not Junior Mints, it's not York, it's like the little green bars with the minty stuff in Andes. Is that what they're called? It's like the ones no one wanted. Like, I was much more into Junior Mints, if I'm totally honest, than either of the other two. But yeah, maybe it's Andes or whatever that was. I mean, it's a damn good nose. It's a damn complex nose. And if you are on other channels complaining about the lack of like dense, complex, ensemble cask styles of whiskey, then you absolutely need to hunt this down. I mean, you just do. Stop complaining for a second on the YouTubes and go find a bottle of this. All right, on the palate. Oh, in terms of delivery, mouth presence, development, outrageously good. Again, it kind of retains all those dueling flavor notes from before. There's a little bit more pepper, a little bit more fennel now. There's maybe a little bit more sweetness coming through, especially on the finish. I'm gonna kill this. I'm gonna do it. I like it that much. Oh. It's got a little bit of everything. I mean, for those of you who are losing your mind over like the Campbelltown Lock profile. I mean, this is doing a lot of those same things, just it's at such a higher level. It is damn close to the 15. I mean, again, it really just comes across as a fresher version of the 15. I'm going to give this an 87 plus. And I'm kind of wondering if I'm pulling back a little bit because I'm scared to go there. But yeah, 87 plus. This is terrific. Well worth seeking out on the end of bin shelf or just at retail pricing. Phenomenal. Really, really good. And back to the Yeun Elez. Now with some water. On the nose, I mean, no real change. I mean, it started out, like a vanilla-y peaty monster with a little bit of like gin, nice gin, like modern soft gin, kind of vatted into it, and it still kind of smells like that. It's maybe a little bit more aromatic now, like a little bit more ginny, aquavity. But yeah, of these three, it feels like the one that's developed the least. And it was fine before, so I'm kind of okay with that. On the palate, here we go. I mean, not much development, but I don't care. I mean, if you like me are one of those people who said in the year of our Lord 2024, there are no more twists to provide to the standard bourbon plus peat malt whiskey profile. I urge you, try this because it's a delightful twist on that profile. Like the flowers and those little pine needle-y bits and the caraway are just adding a little bit more charm to this. That's very good. Is this better than the old guard from Islay? I mean, no, not really. If there's a gun to my head. Is it fun and different and worth a try? Absolutely. If you are bored with Ardbeg and all the rest of those, you absolutely need to seek this out because it's worth your time. And yeah, that's I guess that's the video. So I'm gonna give this 87 plus. No. Just 87, because it doesn't really develop enough. 87 flat, which means the Armorik 10 wins with 87 plus. I think those of y'all who appreciate distilleries that start with S names, I don't want to name them, but S names might appreciate this. Armorik 10, 87 plus. The Yeun Elez Jobic 87. Really fun. I mean, it's not a huge, great, transformation of the profile, but it nails it very, very well and has its own kind of like story to tell. And the port cask is an 83 plus. It's fun, but it's kind of outclassed here. Still worth a grab if this is your thing. Thanks for watching and cheers.